So we thought we'd have...
Is it after freezing that off, man?
There is nothing around in the boat. Forward to that.
After the Anderson film.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, everyone.
And welcome to our DLOG.
Welcome.
What have we got for the first question, my love?
Okay, so the first question is from Helly Avard.
Hello, Helly.
Hello, Helly. And she is asking about shopping. How do I plan my shopping trips? Do I have meal plans? And what freezer space have we got? So I suppose that's one for me, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have meal plans? Yes, we do. I do sit down. I do meal planning. So I plan what we're going to have for breakfast. Well, we tend to have the same thing for breakfast, to be honest with you. So we plan for lunches and dinners. And what I do is I sit down, do a meal plan, and then shop for that meal plan so that there's no wastage. And also what I tend to try and do is try and use similar ingredients in some of the meals, so I get to be able to use the whole amount of whatever I've bought.
Very nice too.
And with regards to the freezer space, I've only got the little small freezer that's at the top of the fridge.
Of the standard fridge.
Of the standard fridge. So we're freezer space is very limited. So I plan, I plan to keep mainly meat and sometimes a few veg in the freezer. Tends to be stick with peas, to be honest, as frozen veg, and then try and get everything else fresh.
Yeah. But we are planning on trying to increase the freezer size. We've got our eye on a freezer which we're looking to fit on the boat, but at the moment we haven't quite got the electrical capacity to be able to support the freezer, because it'll be a true freezer compressor. So we're looking at getting that, but we're going to need to do a little bit of an upgrade beforehand. So that's likely to be sometime fairly soon. So keep an eye out for that. Could be an interesting one. All electrical and all to do with supporting electrical supplies and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously during the winter months it's easier to keep fruit and veg, because what I do is I put that in a cool bag and sit that up on the stern deck where it's a much cooler area. And that's like being in a fridge up there, to be honest with you, overnight and mostly during the day. Summer months it's obviously a bit more difficult. I have to shop more often because the fruit and veg, the shelf life of the fruit and veg isn't so long. So it does take planning. Yes.
But we get there.
Yes.
I still get some lovely food. Anyway.
So thanks for that, Helly.
Thanks for that, Helly. Right, what's the next question, honey?
So the next question is from James Evans.
Hello, James.
Hello, James. And he wants to know about the colours of our boat. Did we choose the colours of our boat?
The simple answer is no, we didn't. We didn't strictly choose the colour, but we had a choice between blue and red.
Yeah, our boat was not bespoke built, so we bought our boat off the peg,
if you like.
So when we went along to Bickerstaff to view it,
it had already been built. It'd been painted.
Already been built and painted. Yeah. So and they had two boats available. The two colours were this colour.
And a red.
And a red and grey, as is the blue and grey, or they had like a red and grey.
And we chose the blue and grey. Yeah. The only really criteria was that we didn't really want a green boat. I mean, there's a lot of green boats on the cut, but we didn't want a green boat.
Yeah.
But other than that, we weren't really too worried.
No.
But we liked the blue. We preferred the blue. So that was it.
So thanks, James.
Thanks, James. So the next question, honey.
So the next question is from Mark Dolman. And
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark. And he asks about whether it bothers us if people take pictures of us or our boat, and which is our home, obviously. And are we bothered by people recognising us because of our vlogs?
Nobody recognises me. No, that's not true.
No.
No, we're not bothered about people taking photographs. We often see people taking photographs, but I don't think all of it is because we vlog.
Yeah.
I think some of it is the name.
Some people just like the name.
Some people just like the colour. But there's a lot of people that take photos of it because of the name, I think.
Yeah.
And the ones that do, we have had a couple of people that have asked us if we mind. We don't generally. We don't. It doesn't bother us, does it?
And with regards to being recognised, well, that doesn't bother us. But then it doesn't happen regularly. We can go for days, sometimes
months.
Weeks. We could go weeks. We can go weeks without people recognising us. So it really doesn't bother us at all, does it?
No. I mean,
and sometimes it's just nice to stand and chat to people.
Yeah, we could be cruising along and someone will pop their head out the window on the boat and say, "Oh, what's your vlogs?" Or we've had people shout, "Oh, what's your vlogs?" and all that, and that can be it's nice. Yeah, it's nice to have recognition that people do actually watch it. I mean, it surprises you sometimes.
Yeah. So the answer to that is not really, doesn't really bother us.
Doesn't bother us.
I think probably because we don't get that many. I think if it was happening on a daily occurrence and several times a day, then it might become a bit tiresome.
If people wanted my autograph, then I might get a little bit,
You should be so lucky. So thanks for that, Mark.
So what's the next question?
The next question is from Waywed.
Waywed?
Yes.
Hello,
Waywed. And he wants to know, when we moor up somewhere for, say, 3 or 4 days, what does our typical day entail? And also, given your space limitations, what range of key tools do you keep on board for repairs and DIY? So let's take the typical day first, shall we?
Typical day really is probably nothing more than anybody else does, but we tend to we'll have our meals and plan out. We don't really plan our day, do we? But
no, we talk about it. We'll often try and get out for a walk most days. Maybe not so much in the winter if the weather's bad, but certainly we're out more in the summer.
More in the summer. We like to get out and have a look around, or sit outside on the back deck, or on the towpath even. Sometimes we'll do that. But in the winter, it's watch YouTube videos, edit.
We spend, Pat spends a lot of time editing.
A lot of time editing, or filming, or thinking about ideas that we can have and do for filming and that sort of thing. And watching other people's YouTube videos about how to edit, for cameras and things like that. I
read, or I might read or do some sewing.
Yeah, well, you do sewing. I'll do some maintenance on the boat. It might be the engine service or general just sort of bits and pieces and repairs, that sort of thing.
We sometimes get to the end of the day and wonder where the day's gone, don't we?
Just some days we just think, I don't know.
We don't know.
There's not enough time in the days. There really isn't. We are both retired, but you wouldn't think it, because we very rarely, we do in the evenings of a winter, we'll sit down and watch telly,
TV,
sort of from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock onwards. For a couple of hours we'll sit and watch telly, but
and that tends to be something like Netflix or Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we tend to watch films, basically films. And
obviously I do all the cooking.
And then you do the cooking, don't you? And then getting in coal and it just seems general sort of living, doesn't it? But the day still goes really quickly. So hope that answers it.
That one, And the tools.
The tools, that's an interesting one.
For DIY. What sort of tools do you keep on board for DIY?
I keep some essential tools on board for DIY. I mean, one of them that I bought recently, which I've got here, is a hot air gun.
But we did buy that.
We bought it primarily because we had some issues with the starting of the engine, which we've discovered that we needed some new glow plugs. So we bought this because this was an easy way of starting the engine. And we used it for quite a lot of times, and proved to be really useful.
You were using that every day to start the engine, weren't you? Because otherwise the engine just wouldn't start.
No. So this is a really useful tool, and I would actually urge anybody to have this available, so that if they ever have problems starting their diesel engine, that they can then use this in really cold weather. They can use this to help start the engine.
So what else do you use that for, though?
I also use it for electrical things, like when you heat shrink on the end of cables, we put electrical cables, we do that. You can also use it for paint stripping, that type of thing. So it's a really useful tool.
And if the water taps are frozen.
Oh, and if the water taps are frozen, you can use that on the water taps just to warm them up. You have to be a bit careful you don't go too mad on them. But yeah, you can actually just use them just to heat the pipe, just gently move it over the pipe, and that sort of warms it up. So yeah, it has a lot of uses. So, and because it's a battery one, of course, just keep it charged and away it goes. The other thing that I keep to hand and keep charged, as well as the heat gun, is this. This is a unit which allows you to start the engine in emergency. It's basically it's called a Genesis.
Genius.
Genesis. It's just basically a an engine starting, you can...
of course, that wouldn't work when we didn't have the glow plugs, when we had problems with the glow plugs.
No, it wouldn't have worked then, but what it does is, if you have a problem starting the engine, quite often what will happen is you'll try to start it, and then eventually you'll get to a point where you'll flatten the battery. And in that situation where you've got a flat battery, you're then absolutely stuffed. So this is a very useful tool.
We've never had to use it yet.
We're not sponsored by these or anything, but these are a very useful unit. They are basically a battery, built-in battery, which you keep charged. It's a lithium battery. It has a nice light on the front of it, which you can put on, and it just has a very simple, easy way of starting the engine should your battery go flat. You literally just clamp it onto red goes to red, black goes to black. You switch it on and you start the engine, and it works wonderfully. I have actually used these in the past and they do work really, really well. This one is quite a heavy duty one. That's because obviously the engine that we've got is quite a big diesel, and they do need that little bit of extra oomph to get them going. I just make sure that I keep that charged completely, same as the batteries on the heat gun. These are just kind of emergency things that we keep available in case we need them. The other thing I keep the other thing I use very regularly is a multimeter. I haven't got one available here at the moment, but I keep a multimeter available so that you can use that for electrical testing and that sort of thing. Being an electrical engineer anyway, I used to use, I'm used to using a multimeter on a regular basis, so that's something that I'm constantly using, really. And the other kind of tools is obviously spanners, that type of thing, screwdrivers, normal sort of screwdrivers, spanners, that sort of thing. A couple of little sort of other quirky tools are things for taking oil filters off the engine. You can get a little clamp that goes on so you can get that off. A little vacuum pump that I can suck the oil out of the engine. I've got one of those. And really just general tools, but these are kind of the main things are the heat gun, the starter unit, and a multimeter. Really those are the things. And I have a drill so that I can drill holes and things like that. But other than that, really that's it, general tools normally. No big tools, no sort of lathes or... No,
it's just, I mean, room is obviously premium, space is premium.
Space is a premium. I think I've got 3 tool bags, 2 in the engine bay and 1 in the bow. And really that's that. So yes, thanks for that, Wayward.
Thanks, Wayward. So the next question is from James Blaze.
Hello, James.
Hello, James. And I think we've probably answered this already, because he wants to know who does the cooking of your favourite meals and who does the editing.
Well, I do everything.
No, you do all the editing.
I do the editing.
Yeah, and obviously I do the cooking.
And very nice too.
Yeah.
So I do try to make a good job of the editing. Can take quite a while. I've had to learn a lot about editing.
Yeah, because you never did editing before, did you?
No, I used to do a lot of my original hobby, if you like, has been photography, and so therefore photography has a lot of elements that you know, doing editing and that sort of thing, and but then I've gone on to video, and of course you've got sound and you've got all the other aspects that go with it, and
we did
much harder.
Yeah, we did find the sound really challenging at the beginning, didn't we?
Sound is always challenging. It's the most challenging part of the editing.
Yeah.
Well, not just editing, but the most challenging part of doing videos is sound, really. Yeah, so it's just a long process of continuous learning, really. We both like to learn, don't you? You like your cooking and you doing all sorts of different things.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm on a sourdough journey. So I've made my own yeast starter, and I'm feeding that regularly and using...
it's only taken about 2 months.
Yeah, I started in December. So I'm enjoying learning all about sourdough and sourdough cooking.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying eating it.
Yes. So thanks for that, James.
Thanks for that, James. So that's the end of the DLOG.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
So thanks for watching, everyone.
Hope you enjoyed our DLOG and come back and enjoy the DLOG in the future.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.